got a great show for you today. We've kind of put it all around the Thanksgiving Day action that's going on tomorrow in football. So let's get this party started. With me, like always, I've got Nick Parsons from the Insiders Room. Nick, how you feeling about the games?
Oh, I can't wait. Although I guess that evening game is off, and we're going to get into that, but we'll still cover that game. But yeah, no, I'm totally pumped. Can't wait for these games, especially the NFL games.
We're gonna eat. We're gonna football. All right. We also have Kurt Alexander in the studio, in our virtual studio, with us today. Hey, Kurt, how's it going?
Oh, it's going great. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
happy Thanksgiving.
So in Canada, you guys already had your Thanksgiving, right?
Exactly. Yeah, last month. So
okay.
First Monday.
I actually celebrated up here as well, the American Thanksgiving too. So I'm looking forward to turkey and the whole thing tomorrow too. Yeah.
That's killer. Why don't we celebrate the Canadian one? I want one.
There you go. Two Thanksgivings. So much better.
Thanksgivings before, yeah. Celebrated up.
I remember when I lived in England, I had to explain to my my ex-husband what Thanksgiving was. I'm like, well, you guys left your country and came here.
Right.
That's the story of Thanksgiving. Okay, so anyone in the chat, I see a couple people coming in. Y'all feel free to comment, like, subscribe, but let us know what you think about these matchups. And let us know what your plays are on them. And if you have any questions, throw them in there too. We will do our best to answer them for you. So we are going to kick this off with Colorado State at Air Force. Air Force is, oh God, the favorite here. I just lost my thing. Minus 5.5 points, and the total is 55. Air Force is 2-1 at home. Colorado is 0-2 on the road. So what are we thinking about this, Nick?
Yeah, the Falcons, both teams looking to earn their second conference victory of the season. Colorado State, as you said, is coming off that blowout loss to Boise State 52-21, and Air Force blanked New Mexico 28-0. Yeah, Air Force is the 5.5 point favorite. And they've actually won the last 4 meetings with Colorado State, and that included a 38-21 victory last November. So yeah, the Rams, they were supposed to take on UNLV on Saturday, and that game got canceled because of some COVID issues. And so that's given them 2 weeks here to sort of recover from that beat down there by Colorado State. It's actually funny. The Rams actually produced 351 yards of offense compared to just 291 for the Broncos in that game. And the defense also got 2 fumbles there. But it was just a 1 for 15 performance on third down conversions, which actually became the difference maker there for Colorado State in that last game there. I mean, the duo quarterback there, Patrick O'Brien and Todd Centillo, it was pretty mediocre there last week. The ground game was decent. It had Ajon Vivens. He had 76 yards and a touchdown. And yeah, I mean, so far the defense has looked decent there for Colorado State. They have 13 sacks and 5 turnovers, although they are allowing 38 points per game here. So, yeah, I think that they could have their hands full here, Ali and Kurt, against the Falcons, although they have gone through a bit of turnover themselves. Although, as I say, they're coming off that big 28-0 victory. Brad Roberts had 177 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, yeah, I mean, Air Force, it just has, I think, just sort of is more the complete team for sure here. It's 5-2 against the spread. Its last 7 at home. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to get out of the Rams here after that week off, but how are you guys seeing this one?
Well, Ray Rillsful says he's going to play the under with the Air Force money line, same game parlay. Kurt, what do you think about that? What do you think about this matchup altogether?
I'm really looking at this Colorado team and looking at their defense. Most importantly, their run defense. They have a pretty good run defense. And with Air Force, you're going to get triple option or die. Basically, they're going to run the ball and run the ball some more and run the ball some more. I was looking at this game more towards the total. I thought 54 was a low total because right now Colorado State is giving up an average of 45 points a game on the road. Seems like when they leave home, that all of a sudden, everybody could put up some points. And so you have Air Force at home, basically having the option to score whatever they want to against Colorado State because they're not going to put up much resistance. The 5.5. I'm leaning towards Colorado State. I'm not happy about it, though. I want to take the points with Colorado State just because they do put up 24, 25 points a game so far this season. If I had to, I would take the points. I saw the Air Force game last week. I thought they really had a cakewalk with New Mexico, but they kind of died off. They scored 21 in the first half and 7 in the second. It was a late 7, like fourth quarter. Clock winding down, they scored 7 points. So it seems like, the offense isn't going to be surprising you with any play action passes or any long slants or anything like that. It's going to be triple option to the right, triple option to the left. But I think Colorado State's defense is going to be able to keep them in this game. I'm going to take them plus the 5.5. Hopefully I could get 6 or 6.5. But yeah. I know I'm just begging for points here, but I'm going to definitely take Colorado State. Like you said, they're coming off that bad loss, week off. Let's take the points there.
One of our friends here says, one of the View crew says that the Air Force game was recently canceled. That had to have happened in the last 45 seconds. I was just checking their lines.
No way.
Yeah,
Jeez, that's too bad.
I'm a big fan of the service academies. I think they give you 60 minutes of football and it's ground and pound. So I like Air Force here. And I also like it to go over. I was more on the over side of this total. Yeah. But that's unfortunate if it has been canceled. So let's just move right along. Shall we?
All right. Too bad about that.
So the next game here in the business, some of you newer handicappers might not know this term, but we call this kind of a game a dumpster fire. That's what we call this kind of a game. These are two not very good teams, and it's a game that now that the Steelers is canceled, it's going to be more entertaining to watch because we've got something going on. Yeah, so,
yeah, exactly.
Kurt, why don't you kick this one off? We've got New Mexico at Utah State. New Mexico minus 6.5, and was that right?
Yes, both 0-4. They're both 0-4. Yeah.
I thought I wrote it down wrong too, Allie. I was like, no, okay, yeah.
Oh, what don't I know? All right, so go ahead, Kurt. Rock and roll. What do you think about this one?
What's even more shocking than that minus 5.5 is the total of 53.5. When you have one team in New Mexico that scores 18 points a game and Utah State that scores 11 points a game, and you have a total of 53.5. So the under is the first thing that jumps out to me. Like I said, I saw this New Mexico State team play last week, and they were just very inconsistent on offense. They weren't able to keep drives going against Air Force, and I know they'll have an easier time this week, but they're on the road again. And as you know, or those of you that might not know, it seems like New Mexico is going to be playing on the road. They won't have a home game this entire season. I just wonder if that's going to catch up with them at some point. Not necessarily in this game, but I am not laying 6 points with New Mexico. So I'll be taking another dog on Thanksgiving. I'll take Utah State with the points. Their quarterback, Jason Shelley, he's horrible, but I'm still taking he is under 100 yards passing in every game except for the last one against Fresno State, where he was able to get over the 100-yard mark, and we got 144 with 0 touchdowns and no interceptions. This is looking like home dog in the under for me. What do you think, Nick?
I like the under in this one. I was listening to Sean Higgs about this game the other day there, and he just thought it was a putrid game. What happened to Utah State? This used to be a decent team a couple of years ago. Used to have Jordan Love on there, and right? Yeah. So both of these teams have really fallen off here. But as you mentioned, just their offensive numbers, they've been horrible on both sides of the ball. But yeah, this would seem like an opportunity for these defensive units to shine, really. So Yeah, I'm with Sean Higgs on this one. I think that this is a putrid game, and I think these offenses are horrible. And so I'm also with you on this one, Kurt. I like the under in this one.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the way I went with it too. I mean,
53
what are you
and
going
a
to
half.
do, right?
I was just really shocked, because sometimes you see totals in the 40s. This one couldn't.
I mean,
this couldn't earn a 40.
It even opened at 51 and a half, and so it's gone up a bit. So
yeah, it has. I'm not sure why. I can't wait to see this game.
Well, yeah, and that New Mexico line opened at 4. Now it's all the way at 6.5. And I know, like, Utah State has had, its coach is gone after like 3 games.
Yeah.
They've had their quarterback issues. I get that. I know New Mexico. I think they're getting their quarterback back. You were saying they've got decent running backs, so I get it. But I mean, still, I don't get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. But as you said, Allie, this game will all of a sudden become a lot more important there with that Steelers game going off the board till Sunday.
And what do you guys think about the 6.5? Like, I don't have the information on it, but when was the last time New Mexico was favored by almost a touchdown on the road? I know Utah
on the road, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a fishy line. That's a fishy line.
Yeah.
That you've called lines fishy before there, Allie. That one does seem fishy, but as I say, I think the sharper wager is on the total. Yes. And I think that we've pointed out there's a lot of different factors there working towards that under. Take a second look at the under for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah, I can't argue.
Right. So let's move into the NFL. We've got the Texans at the Lions. It's my home team, and they're favored on the road -3. I got a total of 51 on this one. Really don't want to lose to the Lions. Going to be honest about that. So, Nick, what do you got to say about the Texans at the Lions?
I have a play on this one, but I have a play on the side. So I would look at the total here. Both of these teams have played to a couple of unders, but I'm sort of trending the other way here when I'm looking at this. I'm kind of leaning to the over. I just think that this is a non-conference game between two teams which really don't have any hope. Although Detroit is still at 4-5, tied in the third position there with Minnesota in the NFC North. So I mean, the possibility is still there if it was able to do something. But yeah, these are two teams which are centered around their two quarterbacks. And of course, Detroit's coming off that 20-0 loss to Carolina. They haven't been blanked all year. That's pretty atypical performance. And so, yeah, this is an opportunity for them to bounce back. Detroit, no matter what their record is, these players, this organization, they love this game on Thanksgiving no matter what. And they always are trying their hardest to put on a show. So I'm leaning to the over here in the early going.
Leaning to the over. All right, Kurt, what do you got to say about that?
I agree with the over. I think dome, sweet dome. And last week it didn't work out for Houston. They couldn't get over that 49 last week. Here we have a total of 51, and I could see them getting over it, especially Detroit getting blanked last week by Carolina. They might get their running back Swift back. That'll be huge. I haven't heard anything about Kenny Galladay, but that's Matthew Stafford's favorite receiver. So injuries could also play a part in this game, whether it goes over or not, because it seems like, especially when Galladay's not in the game, you just see a different Matt Stafford. He just doesn't have his go-to guy, somebody that he could depend on. But we'll keep an eye on that. But I definitely like this game to go over. Watson had another great game last week, 344 yards, 2 touchdowns. Looks like Brandon Cooks is starting to, you're not going to fill the void left by DeAndre Hopkins, but you just need somebody to kind of step up. You're going to need more receivers to step up. And that's what Houston's working on right now. They have a few receivers that really are up and coming that they're getting the ball to. They're getting the ball to the tight end, to the running back outside out of the backfield. So I think this game will get over that total. I think Watson will be able to carry this offense to score enough points to get it over. How about you, Nick?
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, I mean, the Texans, they aren't going to be running this ball. They average just 84.6 yards per game, and so they're going to be throwing it. They average almost 275 yards per game. That's in the top 10 So yeah, as I say, I definitely think it's going to be the two quarterbacks that are going to be the main storylines in on Friday's summaries there.
Well, I went back and forth. And then like when I really can't figure it out in my own head, then I look to some like trends and stuff. And it's like the under's 5-1 in Texans last 6 games in November, but the over's 4-1 in the Lions, the under's 5-1 Texans on turf, but the over's 5-0 with the Lions on turf. So you know what? I don't know. I'm not going to bet it. It's the Texans. I'm just going to let it happen. But I was thinking over because I like when someone's coming off of a shutout that everyone's like, oh my God, this is so under. Right. They couldn't score a point last week. So it's usually an overreaction on the public's part. And so, yeah, I would lean to an over on that.
And I think, did anybody pick a side? I know you have a play on this, Nick. Allie,
I like the Texans. I mean, obviously. so
I'm leaning towards the home dog. If I was to play this game, you know me and my home dogs.
Yes. I was for a home dog, but not against my home.
But you know, playing short week at Detroit coming off a shutout, I think it's a good spot for him. Maybe a little overreaction from that shutout. Especially, didn't they lose to a rookie quarterback?
Yes, he came out of the XFL, so that was that was quite something there last weekend.
Yeah, that's something.
It seemed like Detroit was looking ahead to this game for sure, or something. That was, as I say, pretty atypical all around.
Yeah, Cartoons and Serial said you guys see Watson having a good game. We do. We totally all do.
Agree on that.
Yeah, we're rocking on the over here, and for it to go over, he's got to have a good game. So
dome sweet dome. I think Brandon Cooks is really, this guy's been traded from team to team. It seems like every year, but everybody brings him in for his speed. Right? Then he gets hit really hard. He gets hit really hard, gets up really slow, and then they're like, who we could trade? Let's trade Brandon Cooks. So he gets shipped out like right after he takes that hard hit. But he's gonna be fine there in Houston. Him and Watson have something good going.
Yeah. John Doe says he's going to 2-team parlay the Texans -3, the Cowboys -3. Cash it. We call that the old Texan 2-teamer. That's what that is right there. Speaking of the Cowboys, that is our next game. We have the Washington football team at the Cowboys. Dallas is -3. The total is 46 on this one. What do we got to say about it, Nick? What do we got?
Well, I have a play on this one as well, up at Picks and Parlays, and I have it on the side. And so for this particular play, I'll focus on the total. But I mean, just to set it up, of course, both teams have gone through so much adversity, both on the field and off the field. They've had to deal with significant injuries to key players on both sides of the ball. They've both had to deal with COVID issues. Yeah. Lots and lots of issues. The bottom line is that either of these two teams still has an opportunity to win in the NFC East. We've talked about this a lot. It's such a horrible division. There's just like one game separating the top 3 teams there. So this is a big game in this division. The Cowboys, of course, are playing with revenge here after they lost in Washington. And Dallas is coming off the big win there last weekend where Dalton looked, pretty good. And definitely his receivers looked fantastic. And also his run game was all on point. Now, the Cowboys have been putting up historically horrible offensive or defensive numbers. And so, that's why I'm kind of leaning to the over in this one. I think that Alex Smith and Washington is also coming off of a win there. And even though it was against Joe Burrow and not Joe Burrow anymore after he went out there, but against the Bengals there without Joe Burrow, that was still a really big win for them as well. And so that's what I'm thinking initially here, Kurt, is I'm looking at the over. As I say, I do have a play on the side on this one.
Okay, I was also looking at the over, but I can't say that I'm I mean, Dallas Cowboys, yes, we talk about their defense. Their defense has played better, but Washington's offense has actually started to improve over these last couple of weeks with Alex Smith. He gets my vote for Comeback Player of the Year already. He's been ever since the Giants game. Like, he almost had them coming back in the Giants game. And it seems like you start to see him getting comfortable with the offense, with his players. You know, he's been there a couple of years now. It was a few years ago when he got traded. So this is his team. You know, he was kind of the forgotten guy. But yeah, I'm on board with Washington in this game. And if I'm on board with Washington, I think I have to take this game. I have to take this game under the total. Okay. I'm gonna go with the. I like the Washington defense. I had them on the over last week, and from what I saw, I just couldn't go back with them again to get over. You know, over this 47. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with this one at the under. I'm going back and forth with it because it is in a dome. It is a big division rivalry. Dallas is playing better on defense, and Washington's defense is outstanding. So my thing is, will Andy Dalton have a repeat of last week? He had a pretty good game last week, right?
Yeah, that was a fantastic game, absolutely.
Game. And it took them, the last minute of the game to win the game. I think Washington plays them a little tougher. I saw the way Washington played with the Giants a couple times, and they just have a way of just kind of staying with each other. Tight game. So I went back and forth with it. I'm going to take the under, though. Mine's made up.
I think I went under on this one also. I'm not ready to jump in the car with Dallas. You know, like I'm not there yet, Dallas. I don't want to say that you're not doing better and improving. I give credit where credit is due, but I'm not ready to roll with them at all. The only thing that worries me about Alex Smith is just how many times I'm hearing his name on television. And that to me is usually a sign to go the other way. It's like, because this is what the public's hearing, right? Alex Smith survived this, recovered from this. He's back. He's beyond. He's Superman. Sugar. I feel like you're going to lose this game, Alex Smith. There's so much freaking hype around you, bro. Remember when that happened to the Saints and the Rams and all that stuff? So I don't know. That's just something I'm always pretty conscious of. But that being said, I'm not on board with the Cowboys yet. So I'm with that, and I like it to go under as well. Yeah, I got all kinds of stats on that too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you. Not jumping in the car with the Cowboys just yet. Let's see how they play this game. You know, that was one game for Andy Dalton, and you know, the offense looked okay. It looked all right. Yeah. It was impressive. There was some great catches, some really nice throws. Let's see how, because I think that this is the better defense. You know, I don't think Minnesota's defense is better than Washington. So let's see what happens when you get a little pressure on you, because that front four is going to come after you.
Yeah, and it's one of those things like with the Bucs, everyone's saying like Tom Brady doesn't usually lose 2 in a row or doesn't have 2 bad games in a row. Well, but he could, you know, it doesn't mean he doesn't ever. So like Andy Dalton's back on track now. Let me show it to you.
A little bit of an overreaction maybe too, because they were just it opened up as a 9-point dog last week against Minnesota, got bet down to 7. They win the game outright. And now you're a 3-point favorite on a short week against Washington, who's been playing better. If it comes down to, I mean, these are 2 bad teams, but who's got the momentum right now? It's only been 1 game for the Cowboys. You know, we
have one of our view crewers, Dave Garreau, I hope I said that right, likes Texas and Washington plus the points. Thomas Jackson says he likes both games. Money parlay. It's easy money. The over in both games. He likes the over in both games. I guess there's certain keywords you really got to get in there for your sentence, right? He likes the over. Emmanuel says he likes Cowboys. The old Texas 2-teamer right there.
Texas 2-teamer.
Cartoons and Cereal, which I love your name, says thoughts on the new offensive line change for the Cowboys, though. Zeke looks so much better with it. Either of you?
Yeah, Zeke. Oh, I don't know. I didn't know anything specifically about the offensive line changes, but yeah, Ezekiel Elliott, he looked great last week. So yeah, this is a revenge game, and so I think you got to keep that into account. The short week at home plays in favor of Dallas. So yeah, on this particular one, guys, we're going opposite. We've agreed on a lot already today, but yeah, this particular one, I'm thinking that this one's going to be a bit of a shootout on the national stage, and yeah, as I say, I do have a big play on this one up at Picks and Parlays.
Okay. Well, head over to picksandparlays.net and check out the premium picks for Nick Parsons and Kurt Alexander. There's also a killer promo code running this week. Sugar. picksandparlays.net/turkey. You can pick any two handicappers. Hey, I know two handicappers. And you get all of their weekly picks for only $115, $114.99. And that's for a whole week. So that is a really, really good deal. I love when we do a deal like that. Jose likes Cowboys and the over. Look, Joe's here. Me and Kurt work with the Las Vegas Aviators with old Joe. Thanksgiving greetings from Mexico. He said Washington, Dallas is definitely going under 46. That's because he loves Kurt. Leg Show Magazine, Texans -3, Dallas -2.5. So that seems to be a pretty popular pick throughout the chat. Texans and Dallas on the two-teamer. So we do have one last game. It wasn't canceled.
Steelers and
that's the game we were looking
Ravens pushed to Sunday now, but of course this was supposed to be the big finale on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. I was so ready for this. So pumped to watch this.
That it happens on Sunday, hopefully.
Well, we got Utah State now, so we're okay. So
geez, Utah State we won't know the difference,
I don't feel like Utah State is going to taste as sweet with like my pumpkin pie as the Ravens would. We're just
this is going to be a good game. I mean, Pittsburgh's 10-0. The Ravens are playing with revenge here. Baltimore's got a couple of their main running backs out, but of course it's next man up. Pittsburgh, we've heard so many times there's trap games. Last week was supposed to be a trap game too. That just didn't matter. Trap game, schmap game. They were able to just keep on rolling here. I mean, Big Ben is now in the speaking there for MVP. I mean, he has to be for sure, and certainly if Alex Smith, what did you say he was going to win? What, the comeback player of the year?
Comeback player of the year, in my opinion, he's got my vote.
Because Big Ben would have to be, a candidate as well. Then
as well, yeah, I agree.
So I actually have a play on the side on this one as well, up at Picks and Parlays. I played all three games. So when I think about these two teams, when you think about these two teams, Kurt, what do you think about? You see these two awesome quarterbacks totally, but for me, it's always defense. Whenever I think about Baltimore, whenever I think about Pittsburgh, I think about tough defenses. And so I'm sort of leaning to the under on this one. I don't have an official play on the total yet, but I'm interested to hear what you guys have to think about this one.
Yeah, I see that total of 45, and you don't really see that in the NFL nowadays. These two teams just played a few weeks ago. It was a very, very close game. I expected this one to be just as close, but it's the difference.
That literally scared me. All right. So sometimes that happens to Kurt. He drops out for a minute.
Did you have any thoughts on it, Allie?
I did. Let me pull up my business. I have should be the game of the day. That's my notes I have on this.
Well, one thing I would point out is that Baltimore in that first game, in that loss, it outgained the Steelers 457-221, and it also won the first down battle 25-19. But what the big difference was, it was a 4-1 turnover difference for Pittsburgh that won. Turnovers are difference makers, no matter how many yards, no matter what. Turnovers will just change the game completely. That is absolutely what happened there. So I think you have to take that into account as well when you're looking at this game, especially at the side. But how do you see it breaking down?
I don't want to be a total homer. My whole family's from Pittsburgh, so that was like the team I grew up with, and then me and my brother are from Texas, so that's why I'm a Texans fan. But I think I like when you say the Steelers are in a letdown spot, you're totally right. And this is kind of one of those teams that could do it. I wish I was more impressed with the Ravens this year because I've been a Jackson fan since Louisville. You know, I love that guy. He reminds me of Michael Vick. I really want Kurt's back. Hey, Paisan.
Yeah,
Right.
couldn't wait to hear what you had to say there. You were
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened.
you're setting it up there perfectly.
We hold it down. We hold it down.
What's funny is that I could still see you guys. You guys can't, see or hear me. I guess
I wish there was a noise that happened. Wah, wah, wah. But yeah, so this one, all the trends that I was kind of going through were all saying over 3-1 in the Steelers' last 5, 6-1 in the Ravens' last 7 on grass, all that kind of stuff. And then I think all this being said, I still think it goes under the total. So I don't know on this one. I don't know.
Now we got to also take into account that it's not being played tomorrow night.
Right.
And so
and that was a big deal because that was a huge primetime spot. You got the Thanksgiving night game. Now, that's a big deal.
And you also had the short week. Now the week is extended for them. So maybe we get a little more scoring. I was actually looking at this game to go over the total. I thought 45 was a trap number there because this isn't the same Baltimore offense. We know that. But for certain games, they will get up and they will put up some points. And I think the line moving from Baltimore -3.5 a few weeks ago now to Pittsburgh -3.5. I think the Ravens might want to answer that. And you have a division rival that's kind of taking it to you and just running away with the division right now. So why not? Why not step up and give them their first loss? And if you're going to do that, you're really going to have to put some points up. They're not putting up enough points, and that's what it is with Baltimore. I talked about it early on in the year when they played Cincinnati. That's the game that kind of made me look at them differently. Like, why are they taking their foot off the gas? Now they are running the ball better with Dobbins. He's getting the ball a lot more, and they were moving the ball against Tennessee. That was just a game that they let get away from because they stopped scoring and they allowed them to come back. I think this game they keep their foot on the gas, and this game finds a way to get over that total.
Well, all righty then. So that's what we got for you guys for Thanksgiving. We hope that helps you out to make some money, make a Thanksgiving living, if you will. We do have a commenter asking who won on the picks on NFL. I'm assuming we're talking about Total Chaos. Sean Higgs was the victor. I think 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. It was 8-4 to 6-6, I think is what it was. But your consensus picks were 4-2, which was really impressive.
Yeah.
And so Nick Parsons, you're on this Saturday to take on Sean Higgs and try to knock off his crown. Kurt Alexander is about to do the first college football Total Chaos with Dan Kaiser at 4:00 Vegas time today. So 7 p.m. Eastern, right after we get out of this show, basically, we're going to do the college football Total Chaos. So if you guys want to know about that, and it's none of the Thanksgiving games, it's your Saturday games. Right. So, and then join us again on the live cap for Friday. We're going to be going over college football, me, Nick Parsons, and Dan Kaiser, like we always do on Friday. But then next week, Nick, we got to start some college basketball, man. Okay?
Can't wait.
Time is now.
Absolutely. This is your specialty, your forte, Allie. So, no, I'm looking forward to that. Absolutely. There'll be a week in the books, and then we can start talking about it. I can't wait.
Yes, exactly. I don't like to make a bet on something I haven't watched, Yeah,
no, it's always tricky, the beginning of the season.
Yeah. All right. Well, Nick, thanks for joining. Kurt, thanks for joining. You guys, thank you so much for your comments, your picks, your questions. And like I said, don't forget to join us. We're about to get college football started right on up after this, the Total Chaos. And like, subscribe, join in on the comments. Don't forget to check out the promo code. And we will catch you very soon on Total Chaos and on Friday with the new live cap. Bet, win, repeat.